It's my great fortune again to meet all of you today evening in this session for part 2 of our continuation from last week, which we are discussing on how to face failures. There can be many responses which we can give to life's inevitable situations which come in everyone's life, and we are learning about how to give the right responses, how to give those kind of responses which will help us courageously face situations in life such that we do not have to go through the same type of failures and same type of situations time and again. Rather, we can learn something, we can become better version of ourselves, we can adapt ourselves, and we can go ahead in our life. Okay. So just before I begin my program, as I always like to welcome, I would like to welcome each and every one of you today evening on Sunday. Sunday evening is a precious time in people's life. People usually are quite busy and they keep the Sunday evenings reserved for some special purposes. Therefore, I really wish to thank each and every one of you. Can you thank the first 3 entries of the question which I had asked last time? Can you please thank them at least? Please. Can you please thank those 3 people, those who gave the first 3 responses?
So one is Adav Murlidharan. We got response from him. And
Adav. Okay.
Adav Murlidharan. And also Kesav Siddhartha. Kesav Siddhartha also gave very wonderful response. And Satyavati, Sukrut and Chetan. These are the very wonderful responses we have received. In the beginning, like just after session only they have sent. June 22, 23 only we received these responses.
So thank you for your sincere response. All these 3 students who gave, I'm very grateful to you. It was, I also read your answers. I was so honored that you appreciated and also you learned something last time. Today we are going to continue our discussion, and let me continue now this session for all of you. Last time I had spoken, just to revise a little, but I just, so because it's a part, in the part 1 what we have seen the reality of life is, for the next 5 minutes I'm going to just revise for you what I discussed in the first session. I talked about that how the events in life will be there, but I started with the story of this elephant, that how this elephant when he was a baby was tied up to a rope and tried to jerk out himself from the rope, and at that time his efforts were a failure because he was having less strength. But later on, although he became huge, mighty, giant elephant, yet still what happened was he had that attitude problem that I have become a failure in life and I can never ever come out of this rope. I can never break this rope by my strength. So therefore that settled attitude that he is a failure was continuing throughout his life. And that's why although he has become so strong, although he has become so giant elephant, but what he's not doing is he's not even attempting to break off from that pole, break this rope. So this is what I was trying to tell to you, that this kind of an attitude is not correct. What we have to say is, yes, I might have failed in some event. I might have failed in a certain situation of life. I might have failed in some exam or certain whatever has happened in life. I am not a failure, right? So that was a very important lesson which we learned there. So I talked about the realities of life. Realities of life are there are failures for every single person. You name me one person in this world who has become successful, and I will show you that how many failures they had to go through. So therefore, because there are failures, you don't have to lose hope. Okay, you just should treat that as a part of life, and we have to respond properly to those events in life. So that's what this session is all about. So then I last time asked you about the different types of failures, and it was very interesting to note that many of you had such different life events. Somebody's just when they were going for the exam, and just before that they had certain trouble, they got some accident, somebody's mother got sick, somebody had lost their relative, somebody got a tragedy in life, they were having some loving relationship with someone, that loving relationship got broken. So many types of failures which can be there in life. Somebody's business got collapsed, somebody's efforts in particular direction, they wanted to study in a particular college, they could not go to that college. Some people went to the college but they could not pass with grades which they wanted, could not get a particular dream job which they wanted. Different types of responses which come. This is what life is all about. Dear friends, life is never a bed of roses for anyone. It is a struggle for everyone. It is all about how can you make that struggle a very wonderful, happy struggle with a different attitude which you have towards life, right? So this is what I also gave you an example of this coronavirus situation. Last time also I was speaking about that. Just see how much change it has brought in the lives of people. Just today I was reading an article on that. Many students were hoping that in June or July the colleges will open. Many of these children, were thinking that colleges will open, school will open, and now what is happening? See, this whole year is going to be such a turmoil year for them. So what they have to look at this is an inevitable event. The event is not changing. Situation is not going to change, right? It may change in some time. It is not in our hands immediately. However, what way we have to respond to that is completely in our hands. That's why I'm teaching you how to give the right response. You remember this one thing in life. If you're some of you are taking notes or you're writing down something important, so please write this down. This is what the very important thing in life is. Situations in life will not be in your control. Situations in life will not be in your control, no matter who you are, no matter what you do. Situations in life will come just out of just blue, as they say, out of the blue. It will just come, just like this coronavirus. Who wanted this? It is out of control. It just happened. Inevitable events will happen. Who wants accidents? But it will happen. We don't pray for it. But there will be failures. There will be difficulties. They will come in life. So therefore, dear friends, if you're writing down, write this down. Situations in life will not be in your control. However, how you respond to those situations is very much within your control. Please remember this. Situations in life will not be in your control. How do you respond to those situations is completely in your own control. You can decide how to respond. There are 4 types of responses which people give. I'm going to talk all of those 4 today, and I'm going to show you how the last 2 types of responses is what I wish that you should choose. First 2 types of responses, the first response I talked last time, that is completely to be avoided. The second type of response, which I'm going to tell just after some time, is okay, but it still doesn't lead to a long-lasting success. And then the third and fourth response is what I would like that you should adopt for yourself. Okay, so that's what the whole session all about. So I said that just first thing in life is be flexible. Don't be just focused on a strategy. I like to tell some stories today. Today you're going to hear a lot of stories. So if your friends who have not joined us, you can tell them, that today sir is going to tell a lot of stories. A lot of stories. Therefore you can join us. So fine. The first story I'm going to tell you here is the story of a bee. There was a bee which entered the room, and it just happened. It happened with me. I was seeing this bee which had entered the room, and they just came inside the room, and I was seeing the bee. And what happened was, the bee was trapped in the room, and there was a window which was there. The window which was there, and the window was closed. So because the window was closed, the bee was going again and again and trying to hit on the window pane and trying to go outside the room to that window, but the window was closed. So therefore it would just come, I would see it happening, and the window is there, and there's a bee comes, it comes with full force, it hits on that window pane, and then goes away, falls down, and again sees, the window is closed. So again it goes round and round, again comes in that same direction of the window, and keeps going in that direction. It tries to probably she was trying to hit it hard so that the window breaks or window opens up, and was trying to go. So this happened once. This happened second times. This happened third time, and I was seeing that the bee is coming again and again. Again hits it, again falls back, again goes back, again again. She did some 10 to 15 times, and I was wondering, my God, what is this bee trying to do? She's so desperate. She's just so desperate to go out of the window, right? Just so desperate. Now, why was the bee choosing the path go out of the window? Was it that her goal was go out of that window? Or was her goal was to experience the freedom which is outside the room, to experience that atmosphere which is outside the room? Which one of the two was the goal of the bee? The goal of the bee was not to go outside through the window. That was not the goal. The goal was to experience what is on the other side of the window, outside the room, isn't it? Poor bee failed to notice something which I was noticing. I want to tell you, this is how life's events come. If we are not noticing certain things, we remain rigid on certain ways of thinking, we don't change and adapt new ways of thinking, we become like this bee. I was seeing that though the bee is trying to go out of the window, just a few meters away from the window is the door which is totally open. The window is closed, but the door is open. But the poor bee failed to notice it, and so therefore she kept on trying again and again, circling again. Again hits with full force. She comes. Imagine the body of this bee. What would be happening? Comes with the full force. Just hits hard, falls down again, picks up with the strength again, goes. Again hits hard, again falls down, again comes back. And the poor bee failed to notice this. Just a few meters away from this window which is closed is the door which is open, just inviting new possibilities for this bee to go out of that window. So friends, what I want to teach you through this short story is, do not be rigid in life. Do not be rigid and focused on the strategy which you are using to get your goals. You can have your goals, you can fix your goals. Don't try to be just so rigid on the particular strategies of life, right? Does it not happen to so many students? Have you not seen this happening to so many students? I see this happening. I meet a lot of people and I see this happening. There are people who consider themselves, if I am trying for, let's say, an exam, which is so competitive exam. Let's say you're trying for IIT JEE, let's say you're trying for AIMS, let's say you're trying for CA, or you're trying for a dream job in a particular company, or you're trying for some particular, entrance exam test, or, the GRE, TOEFL, whatever it is, right? And you're just held up on that strategy. You're just so rigid on that strategy, and you're trying for once, twice, and you're attempting in this way, that way, but it's not happening. Probably it's that closed window which you have to ignore and just see the open door which is just there a little distance away. See the opportunities that you have and focus on those opportunities, right, rather than just trying to be fixed on a particular strategy, right? A lot of people don't know how to recognize those, the different possibilities. And that is what this whole seminar is all about. How to change our responses to situations. Never consider ourselves a failure. Look at the situation in different way and you can get an opportunity. Okay, so we'll go ahead. Okay, so I said about the worldview. Last time I talked about this is hotel worldview, and there is the hotel worldview is all about I centered. Hotel worldview is all about my expectations. We start thinking that this whole world should follow my expectations, and therefore we get frustrated. We want all situations to go according to our way. If I am writing an exam, I must crack the exam. If I am making a relationship with a person, that relationship should be good. The other person should be behaving according to my expectations. Does that happen? It does not happen. We want that everything should go according to my desires. Does that happen in this world? It does not happen. Sorry, it's not a hotel where you can go and sit and you can get served to the waiter. Hey waiter, this is my 1, 2, 3, 4 order. Bring it. It doesn't come like that, isn't it? So therefore, we should not have a hotel worldview. Rather, we should have a school worldview. In a school, you don't decide the questions which come in the exam, do you? You can decide the menu, right, in the hotel, but you don't decide the questions in your question paper. That somebody else decides. So God decides the different questions which come in your life. The different situations are like the questions and puzzles which is sent in your life. You need to learn the lessons and you need to pass the exams. That's the school worldview, right? Just because I attempt certain situation, certain thing, and I fail, that does not mean I'm a failure. I learn, I re-attempt, and then I can go ahead in life. So all situations in life, if you see from this perspective, that I can learn even if I fail, that's when you are actually into the school worldview. You don't then want that the world should follow your way of, your rules and your expectations. Rather, you're flexible. You are a learner. You are a learner from the situations in life. And you contemplate, you think, right? And you want to see what changes I need to bring in myself in order to cross this hurdle which has come in front of me. This is what the school worldview, right? This is what I have been teaching you last time. The only time you are a failure is when you fail to learn a lesson. That's the only time you are a failure. Response number 1. Okay, up till now, if you're with me and if you're liking what I'm speaking and if you are eager to hear from me ahead, you kindly please say yes, or you can say whatever you have, enjoyed, whatever your experience till now has been, please share with me on the chat box so that I can, I can see how you are liking, or are you with me? Okay, if you are with me, you can say yes, I am. Yes, you want to hear further. You liked what I spoke up till now. You can say yes, or you can say anything. You can say it was great. I am excited. I am happy. I'm really wanting to go ahead. Anything. Just type it short, so that I see it. Loving the session. Okay, thank you. Yes, curious. Great. I want to know more. Yes, very much. Okay, thank you. Yes, I am. Yes, please type it down there. Sorry, please go ahead. Yeah, really want to go into it. Fine. Thank you. Eagerly waiting. Fine. Okay, so let me go ahead then. So the first response, which is the most common response, which is the average response for the common people of this world, which happens by the most common people of this world, which even many of us might be actually doing, is what? This is the response there in front of you. What is that? Decline and denial. When failures of situations which are tough, which are difficult, which are not according to our expectations, where we are not getting our desired goal fulfilled, what do we do at that time? We try to decline and deny. I don't want this situation. I want to get rid of the situation. I don't accept the responsibility to go and learn something. I don't accept the challenge which has come in front of me. I just leave the situation and say, I want to go away. This is an escapist mentality. This is something which is called as escapist mentality. Escapist means escape from the situation without improving of ourselves, or without trying to do something, learn something, become better. That is called as escapism. Decline and denial is what most people do actually. I gave you examples last time. So this is due to the mode of ignorance. Today I'm going to teach you about the 3 modes. I'm going to talk about just in few minutes another story. So mode of ignorance. There are 3 modes of nature. Each and every one of us have either of these 3 modes prominent in us. Okay, I'm going to talk about that a little bit. So ignorance is the first mode in which most people can be, which is in Sanskrit called as tamoguna. So there is sattva, rajas, tama. There are 3 types of modes. These modes are the settled thought processes. These modes are the response, the types of characteristics which we have developed, types of responses we have learned, the types of habits and attitudes we have cultivated. This is called a mode. In case if you are noting down something, here is something to note down. There are 3 types of modes which are called as sattva guna, rajo guna, and tamo guna. Last time in brief, just a little I had explained that. There is sattva guna, there is rajo guna, there is tamo guna. In front of you, the slide says about the tamo guna, right? Tamo guna is something as is understandable. It is called as tama. Tama means ignorance or darkness. This mode we want to avoid, isn't it? We want to avoid this mode. So what are the characteristics of people who are in this mode? They have ahankara. They have frustrated false ego. They have alasya, laziness. They have ajnana, ignorance. They don't know about the rules of life. They don't know about the secrets of happiness. They don't know what is the right response. They have not learned from good teachers in life. So they are 10. The 4th is pramada. They are an illusion. Illusion means the thing that this world is meant like a hotel. It's a hotel which I have to enjoy here. Whereas that's not the reality. It is something else, right? So they have pramada or illusion. So this is the mode of ignorance, which we want to avoid. And the mode of ignorance, the prominent response as in front of you. See, an example I gave you last time was of Duryodhan. Though he was so talented, but he had always given mode of ignorance responses because he never took responsibility of his own actions. See, the people who are in mode of ignorance, they do not take responsibility of their own actions. They only want to point finger out and blame others. If there is a failure, what do these people do? It's because of that person. It's because of this person. It's because of him. It's because of her. It's because of them. And if they cannot find anybody, who can be held responsible, then they say God is responsible. Why these all bad things are happening? God is responsible. That's the way Duryodhan behaved. He never accepted his own mistake. Last time I talked about the story when the Pandavas were so generous, who were so pious, who were so friendly to the Kauravas, who were wanting the Kauravas to also live together and be happy. Even then, Duryodhan was always wanting to kill these Pandavas for God-forsaken reasons. Even when he was making the thought to burn these Pandavas alive in the Laksha Graha. Laksha Graha was a place outside of Hastinapur, which was like a holiday resort. Yeah? So he sends these Pandavas over there and says, you please kindly take rest over there, for a few days, you can enjoy there. and he had a plot to burn them alive. My God, can you imagine? To burn a person alive. That's what his plot was. When Karna came to know about the plot of Duryodhan, even Karna objected. He said, Duryodhan, this is not correct. If you want to kill them, call them for a fight. Let's have a fair match, and then in the fight we'll see who wins and who loses. If you win, you kill them. If you lose, they will kill you. Fine. So you have a fair match. You don't do this kind of coward activity of trying to burn them alive. When they are sleeping, etc. This is very bad. So Karna was not agreeing to it. But still, Duryodhan and Shakuni said, no. We are not so powerful to kill the Pandavas. Let us try to make this plot and let's try to kill him this way. So many bad things, he did. Duryodhan did. So he never accepted responsibility. He never learned from situations. Vidura was teaching him again and again. Bhishma was teaching him again and again. Hey, Duryodhan, give up this envy towards Pandavas. Give up this wrong thought process which you have. Enjoy your kingdom nicely. They have got Indraprastha, you have got Hastinapur. That's fine, right? They're not wanting to fight with you. Why are you wanting to fight with them? Even when Lord Krishna came to Duryodhan just before the beginning of the battle of Mahabharata, even Lord Krishna came to Duryodhan and said, see, Pandavas do not want to fight. They just don't want so much violence to happen. Why don't you give them just 5 villages? Lord Krishna told to him that just give 5 villages only. You enjoy the entire earth, no problem. They don't have any problem with you. They don't want to fight. Just give them their Kshatriyas. They're also kings. They're also rulers. They have to do their duty of Kshatriya Dharma. So you give them just 5 villages. Just give 5 villages and there will be no war. Okay, we forgive you for whatever you have done previously. You tried to disrobe Draupadi also. You tried to kill them in so many ways also. You looted all their wealth and property also. We forgive you for all that. No problem, sir. You keep it. Give them 5 villages and they're happy. Lord Krishna came for a peace messenger, But then what did Duryodhana say? No, I am not going to give them the amount of land which is contained on even the tip of the needle. I am not going to give them anything. I am not going to give them even the amount of land which is contained on the tip of the needle. My God, imagine. What kind of a person is this? So much in mode of ignorance. He cannot accept any responsibility. He cannot accept that he is wrong. He cannot accept that I was wrong, I did something wrong, and I need to change myself, and I can, try to improve myself and do something better. This is mode of ignorance, people. And believe me, today, a lot of people come in this category. A lot of people, right? I told you the example of last time that how a student, I had this, one of my friends, and I was in, I think, 10th standard, 9th or 10th standard. So this is one of my friends, who used to get bad grades in, mathematics. So I used to tell him that maybe you should, in your 11th and 12th, you need not select, this PCM, this chemistry mathematics. The stream is there, right? So I used to tell him maybe you can select something else. He used to always compare himself with other people, and he used to always say, no, I can get this. I have to get rank 1 in IIT, JEE, and this. I used to tell him, see, maybe you are not getting good grades in maths. Maybe you try something else. They never accepted his failures. So there are people like that. All of us have seen people like that. Right? Those who are in mode of ignorance, who don't accept their own mistakes, who want to blame others, and when failures come, they deny, they get crushed down, they start feeling depressed, they feel like, why is it happening to me? All this happens. Have you not seen, if you have seen a person like that in your own life, or if you have seen yourself behaving in this mode of ignorance, please kindly tell me yes. If you please write so that I can see in your response, yes. Please write on the chat box. I'll take questions at the end. Please. If you have seen someone like that, if you have seen yourself or someone, who has been behaving this way, they never take responsibility of their own mistakes. They rather dump mistakes on somebody else. So then, please put it there on the chat box. Okay. Yeah. You have seen this. Some of you are saying that you have seen yourself also. You can give me a private response, or you can give me the public one, as you wish. Okay. Thank you. You have seen such people. This is mode of ignorance. Even as some of you are saying that even some of you have behaved like this. So I don't want any one of you to behave like this in this way. Please, dear friends, please, dear students, this is something which I want you should avoid this kind of response. That's the reason I'm giving this session. I'm going to teach you how you can go higher from this. Do not get into the blame game. That is ignorance. We can do much better if we can learn from the situation, right? We should not become like Duryodhan, right? We don't want to become like Duryodhan. So why deny that which is reality? Like I'm showing the example of certain girls. So for a boy, it is the amount of money and the amount of success in career. It is the amount of marks and rank which he gets, which he compares with others. And for a girl, she starts comparing how she is looking. You have seen this? How she is looking, how beautiful she is, how she has certain features, etc. Start comparing with others. So many times, many of the people, they become depressed just by seeing themselves in the mirror. It happens with girls. Right? You just see yourself, you get up in the morning, you see yourself in the mirror, and you see on your Facebook, so many friends, they put this profile, that profile, you see on your social media, many beautiful people, and you look yourself in the mirror and you start feeling, my God, life is a waste. I'm a failure in life. Why don't I look so good? See, people become like that. I say, so what? Is beauty only on the face? Is beauty only in physical appearances? I mean, think about that. Are we talking so shallow thoughts? Are we talking about such shallow thoughts that beauty is simply on the face and beauty is simply on how your physical appearances are? No, I don't think so. There are so many people, those who are beautiful, not because of their physical body, but because of their beautiful thoughts, because of their beautiful deeds, because of their beautiful character, because of their beautiful thought process and desires. Isn't it? Beauty is not merely skin deep. If you're talking about beauty which is just skin deep, that's quite cheap, right? So we can accept whatever situation we are in, we can accept it. And we can utilize what opportunities we have. We may have limited opportunities. We have got failures. We have got a bad start. We have got certain challenges in our life. But still, we can frame our response whatever limited opportunities we have been provided. If you focus on your opportunities, your number of opportunities will keep increasing. If you focus on what you don't have, then what you don't have will keep increasing. Please hear this again. I repeat this for all of you. If you are making notes, this is something which you should write down. If you focus on what you don't have, then what you don't have will keep increasing. If you focus on what you have, then what you have keeps increasing. What you don't have is the failures of life, is the challenging situations of life. You keep focusing on them, what will happen? They will keep increasing. And what you have is your strengths, your abilities, your talents which God has gifted you, right? So if you focus on that, then they will keep increasing. It's a simple thing in life. Where are you focusing? Mode of ignorance people always focus on what I don't have. Then what happens? What they don't have keeps increasing. They always keep feeling I have lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser. So that's denial response. Okay, let's go to the next response today. I'll tell you the story. So there is mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So once what happened? There were 3 cap sellers. Okay, there were 3 cap sellers who were selling the caps. And they went around the market, they were selling their caps, etc. And there was it was so hot afternoon. So they decided that just before they go to the next market, they decided that let us sit down underneath this wonderful tree, which is giving me good shade. And let's take for some rest for half an hour, for 1 hour. And then we go to the next village or next town to sell the caps. We wanted to rest. They sat down with their huge basket which they had with lot of caps of different colors, etc. Right? They kept it below, and all 3 of them, they slept for a while. And after that, half an hour or so, when they woke up, they saw, they're surprised. There are many monkeys on that tree. So many monkeys, and these all monkeys came and they started pulling out all the caps from their basket, and they started wearing the caps and doing so many things, and they took up all that and they went on the different branches on the tree. And when these 3 people, they woke up, they said, hey, what happened? So one of these persons, he became so depressed. Oh my God, today is my bad day. Today is a bad luck. I know what a bad luck I have. He started feeling depressed. He started feeling, oh my God, I don't want to do this kind of a business where I have to face so many challenges. Maybe these 2 people are worthless and useless. Why did they not look at it? They should have seen the monkeys, right? They did not see the monkeys. I think this weather is also a problem. So hot, because of which, why did we come under this tree? He started blaming. He started thinking negatively of all that which was there. If there was a coronavirus, he would have said, why this coronavirus has come, why the hell is this, all the monkeys are, all the animals are causing so many problems, something like that. And so therefore, he just went away to his hometown back. He just depressed, I can't do anything good. That was the response of the first cap seller. Second cap seller, he became angry. He started feeling, hey, come on, I have to do something. how these people, they have taken my caps. After all, I am the owner of these caps. So he started, taking up the stones and started throwing the stones. Started throwing the stones up, here and there. And the monkeys are, they were shouting more and more, So they were, he had a tussle for a while. Then after that, becoming tired, he said, maybe I have to start another business. Maybe this business is not meant for me. He went and he started another business. He went ahead in life. The third person who was also there, he thought for a while. He contemplated, okay, these monkeys have taken my caps and I want to get these caps back. What should I do? Why did the monkeys do not eat caps? What are they going to do with the caps? They are anyway going to throw it after some time, isn't it? I mean, monkeys are not good. They are not going to take photographs or selfies, putting on their Facebook or monkeybooks.com or something. They're not going to do that, right? So therefore, he thought for a while, they must be hungry. They must be hungry, right? So therefore, that's why they have probably taken up these caps, etc. Maybe they are telling us that we are hungry. Please give us some food and we'll give you back these caps. So he thought for a while and said, yeah. He had some food, left, which is there. He started, giving that food up, up the upward slide. He said, these monkeys are going to surely imitate whatever I am doing. So if I am going out, I am going to give them this kind of a food to them. They're also going to give and throw back my, caps. That's what exactly happened. As he was giving them the food up, throwing up the food, hey, please take this, take this, eat this. They started throwing the caps back. And within just a short time, within no time, all the caps that these monkeys had, they just gave. And the fellow, what did he do? Cap seller, he collected all the caps. Then he went ahead in the market and he sold all those caps and good profit. So these are 3 types of responses which 3 types of people give. As in front of you, it's there in front of you. First mode is a mode of goodness. Second mode is a mode of passion, Rajagun. The third mode is mode of ignorance. We talked a lot on mode of ignorance already. Today we are going to discuss on passion and goodness, dear friends. Okay, this information which I'm going to talk about is very vividly given in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. One of the greatest books I have read ever is Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I am fond of this book, Bhagavad Gita, and I've read this book at least more than 8 to 10 times. I would have read this book. And I have this hobby to share knowledge from Vedic scriptures. There's one thing which I can tell all of you at this point of time. Scriptures or Vedas give you solution to all problems of life. You name one problem and I'm going to tell you all the scriptures where it is given. Only thing, somebody should have studied the Vedas properly and then they can teach you properly. Many cheaters also who are there in today's world who on the name of the scriptures are teaching you something wrong. Right? So this concept of 3 modes is given. If any one of you are interested, anytime in your life you want to know more on this topic, you can see chapter 14 of Bhagavad Gita. If you are taking notes, here is something which you have to note. Chapter 14 of the Bhagavad Gita talks about the 3 modes of nature, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. It talks about the characteristics, etc. there. If you are wanting, you can refer to it. Otherwise, you can learn from teachers like me who teach, this kind of messages from the scriptures. Okay. So now tell me from this story, you have to tell me, type it on your chat box. That 3 cap sellers. The first one, he just was depressed. He was going here and there, and he left away. He was blaming everybody, and then he left. The second was he was fighting. He was thinking what to do. He was fighting with the throwing the stones, and then he thought, okay, I'll start another business. He went away. Right? The third one, he thought very wisely, carefully, and then he gave the food to the monkeys and he got the caps back. You have to tell me the first, second, and third, which particular mode they are in. You write down 1, 2, 3, which mode they are in. Let me see, please. Yeah, so third is in Sattva. Yeah, correct. Okay, great. Many of you are responding. I think you got the message, right? You got the message. Yeah. Yes. Okay, great. Yes, great. Thank you. All good response. The second one was in Raja, and the third one was in Sattva. Very good. You got this point. You got the message. I want you to choose a response in which mode. Tell me, in which mode I want you to be in. I don't want you to be in Tamogud, for sure. Okay. First of all, I don't want you to be in Tamogud. You can be in mix of Raja and Sattva, that is also fine. You can be in Sattva, that is also fine. Or you can have the best response, which I'm going to show you a little later in my slideshow, which is beyond these 3 modes also, which also Gita talks about. Gita also talks about something beyond these three modes, which I'm going to also teach you a little later. Let me go ahead and take the presentation, as you're excited to know what is the second people's response. Second type of people, I call them as Rajoguna people. This is again not the best response, but this can work still. This can, with little bit of goodness, this can work still. Okay. So if you are choosing a response, don't choose a response in Tamoguna. You can be choosing a response in a mixture of Rajogun and Sattvagun, which is what I'm showing to you, the ambitious people. What is their response is written in front of you, dear friends. This is the response they have. They have acceptance of what the problem is, what the failures of life are, and they continue with the attempts. Like this cap seller, second cap seller, what did he do? First he fought with the situation. He first accepted the situation. Okay, first he accepted, okay, monkeys have taken my caps. It's going to be tough, and I'm going to get I'm going to try to get this caps back, right? So he accepted. The first cap seller, he just rejected. He said, who did this? Who did that? Why it happened? Why this happened? Maybe God is mistaken, Maybe my destiny is problem. Maybe he is problem. Maybe they are problem, myself am a problem. It's a bad day. He never accepted only. So therefore, deny and he ran away, escaped. He just ran away, so I can't do anything. He just went to his hometown back. The second one was like that. So he thought, okay, let me try, but he was not using his full wisdom. Let me try, let me work hard, let me do this, let me do that. And then, okay, he could not get, and he just went ahead in a different direction. He tried to start some other business in life. So these type of people, if they have a little bit of guidance of goodness, they may not have goodness so much, but they have guidance of someone who is in goodness, they can do great things in life also. I am going to show you now a lot of stories of people who are in ambitious mode. Okay, let's see. What is the mode of passion made of? First one is Kama. They have strong desire to achieve goal. You are able to see this, right? You are able to see this whole thing, right, in your screen. Kama. So the first thing, see again, this whole knowledge which I am sharing to you, you see Sanskrit words I am showing to you. All of this is my research from the Gita, Srimad Gita, and there's another book which is called as Bhagavata Purana. I have taken from there this whole. The second, he says Mada Utsahaha, which means enthusiasm based on desire. They have great enthusiasm. They want to do something in life. They have great desire to achieve something. And Yashaha Piti, they are fond of praises. The thing is, they are doing great hard work. They are doing great hard work to make themselves famous. Please note it. They're doing hard work. They're going to give a good response to the failures. They're not going to sit down and okay, leave it. But whatever endeavors they are making, they want to make themselves famous. They want to make themselves the star or the moon or the sun, whatever, want to make themselves famous. And then Balodhyamaha, they are confident of one's own strength. They have great confidence, but confidence on what? On their own strength in life. So therefore, they don't just accept failures very easily. They say, I'll try this, then I'll try that, I'll try that. This is my goal, this is my desire, I will do it. So many people say this, that try until you try or whatever, but they keep trying. That's good, they keep trying, and many of them, they become successful. Although some of them, they don't become successful. They need someone in mode of goodness to guide them a little bit. Then they can be easily successful. Otherwise, they can face challenges. I'll talk about that. It's not the best response, but this works. Again, this is not the best response, but still it works. Okay, I give you an example. So here is an example in front of you of one of those persons like that. Steve Jobs, co-founder of Apple. You don't need introduction, I think. I don't have to give introduction of this one. So almost unbelievably, the Steve Jobs, when he started his career off, please note, my dear friends, some of us, we don't know their backgrounds. See, when he started his career at that time, personality, when he opened his company, he was thrown out of the CEO position. The three friends, they came together and they started the company. But the other two threw him out on the basis of certain wrong things. And he was a failure in the beginning of his career itself. He was thrown out of the first company which he started. Right? He was fired off from there. For many of us, when we are fired off in the first attempt, we start feeling, what will happen? But this man did not give up. He had fixed his goals. He started improving his talents. He started improving his strategy. He started improving his business, and then gradually made more efforts, etc. And he was brought back into the same company, Apple inclusive. And you know where he went to great heights which he have cornered. However, this is mode of passion, because you should know that he died quite early, right? He died quite early. He did not balance his life properly. Many of these mode of passion people may become successful, yes, but they will not live overall happy life. That is what you can see from the history. This mode of passion response is okay. It can give you world fame. It can give you some success. Definitely it is good. Then at least this person is not sitting down and making himself into failure only. But in this kind of a lifestyle, you may not be having full balance of life. You may not have complete calmness of mind. You may have still stress, etc. But this man, he died quite early, and when he died, he actually left a note that it was so much hard work which I did actually. Probably was not required many of the times. Okay. This is the second example, J.K. Rowling. She is also a famous woman today. I don't think so any one of you need this, the introduction to this lady as well. She's the Harry Potter series, which has become world famous practically. So many movies, so many things have come out on that Harry Potter. But she was a failure in the beginning of her life, or rather, she had so many. She was not a failure. She had so many failures in her life. She had so many failures in her life. She failed on an epic scale. She had exceptionally short-lived marriage, very grateful for women, very bad. We don't want any woman to go through such a tragedy. She had that. She was jobless for a long time. She was working as practically like a waitress in the restaurant at the time when she was writing down this book, Harry Potter, and she tried out a lot of people, and everybody rejected. We don't want to publish you. We don't want to publish you. So many rejections she got. Finally, someone accepted her script, and then the world fame came. She kept trying. She kept trying really hard. She didn't accept that she's a failure. She had a desire. She had a strong desire. She wanted to go ahead in life, and God's grace, she had good success. Again, if you look at the life carefully, she had got one-dimensional success in her career. That's fine. Marriage, no. Relationships, probably no. Right? There are other dimensions of life which did not go so well, but she could achieve at least some great success in her life, which is good. Therefore, we don't say that mode of passion response is totally wrong. I say these people require guidance from someone who's in goodness so as to balance their life. That's all. So this is ambitious people. Third one, Walt Disney. Again, you will be he doesn't need he doesn't need an introduction, right? So I have chosen such examples so that I can save my time. I don't have to give you introduction. Okay. He dropped out of the school, and the most important thing I want to tell you is that when he was doing these cartoons, he was making his cartoons for this Missouri newspaper, which is there in front of you. I've written down. He rejected his drawings, saying that he's not creative enough. He's not creative enough. His drawings are not creative enough. Therefore, we are not going to publish in our newspaper, etc. My God. Can you imagine that this person changed the entertainment industry? Walt Disney, it's a huge, big name. Mickey and Minnie Mouse, they became... I think all of us have seen that. Is it not true? All of us have seen this Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse and comics, and it's everywhere. It's on the YouTube, it's on the videos, it's on the television, it's on where it is not. It's in the movies, everywhere it is. So Walt Disney changed the way entertainment is. But in the beginning, he had so many failures. Kept on trying, he kept on working hard, and he had success. These people, they accept the failures as they come, and they keep trying to improve themselves. They don't lose courage. They have faith, they have the balodhyaha. Like they are having confidence on their own talents, etc. They go ahead. They don't sit down. Which is good. This is a good part. However, the wrong part in these people's life is they don't live a balanced life. If you look carefully at their lives, they don't live a balanced lives altogether. They have one-dimensional success in career, etc., but many other dimensions of life get compromised. Abraham Lincoln was another famous personality. He did so much. He failed in business. He failed in so many things, and he tried out politics later on, and then he did great work. He did a lot of great work also later on. Later on, he did a lot of great work, and he never accepted failures as his own failure. I am the failure. He accepted the mistakes. He corrected them. He went ahead. Yeah? I'm giving you a lot of examples. Steven Spielberg, again, there were problems in his life, and he went ahead. He went ahead also. So this is another type of response of these people which you get. Again, this person, he had troubled childhood, and but he became a famous author. Again, there are problems in his family life. Still, he had problems in his family life. One-dimensional success, great. Other dimensions of life, not so great. So therefore, this is Rajoguna. Rajoguna kind of blinds you to be going in one direction. You have seen these horses, no? You've seen these horses. They run, race course horses. You've seen race course horses. So these race course horses, they are tied up. Their heads are tied up with certain type of sort of a screen, such that they are not able to see left and right. They are only able to see in front. Right? They are tied up like this. They're given certain covers like that, screen like that. They're not able to see left and right, only able to see in front. Because if horses see left and right, then they will go like this. A horse's eyes get distracted very easily. So they are given a screen like this. Similarly, these people know they always see only in one dimension of life which they want to succeed. But the overall dimensions of life are more than one dimension of life. Right? Career is one dimension. Health is another dimension. Relationships is another dimension. Your character and spirituality and your service to this world is another dimension. So therefore, these all dimensions of life need to be balanced. This is what these people, they don't realize. They give a good response to one dimension of life, but then a lot of other dimensions might get neglected. That's Rajogun. Okay, that's Rajogun. If you have understood up till now, you can say, on your chat box, yes, I understood the mode of ignorance response. I understood the mode of passion response. Please try to respond you respond to me on your chat box. Yes, I understood. Okay, these are the two types of responses. The first one you have to never do, deny and just not accepting, accept yourself as a failure. No, I don't want you to do that. Second response is okay. It needs some guidance of people, those who are in goodness, so as to not make the same mistakes which others make. Okay, that's great. I am happy that many of you learned this. Okay, we have some more time. Yeah. So, yes, let's go ahead. I want to show you now what is mode of goodness response. Mode of goodness I call as noble and wise people. This is really brilliant response which you should try to come to. Okay, which you should try to come to. I want you to give a third type of response. The first one you understood, the second one you understood, and you understand the third one. These people, they work on refinement. When the failures come in life, they think about how to refine their purpose, how to refine their strategies, how to refine their talents, how to learn the lessons. And second thing they do is persist on the goal. They are not focusing only on strategy. Remember that bee I talked about in the very beginning? They are not like these bees who are going in that, hitting the shield of the window and not trying out the doors. No, they are more wise people. They are thoughtful. The third cap seller is the example which I gave you, right? So therefore, they are thoughtful. They think about, okay, this situation, what should we do? This coronavirus situation, for example, which has come. Many of you, I know that it may be a lot of struggle, a lot of struggle. Believe me, it's a struggle. Today, whole world is going through great amount of struggle. Can we say that struggle is not there? No. Can we say that it's a failure and we cannot do anything? No. You cannot say that it's a failure. I know if I can make your situation better, I would love to do that. At present, I may not be able to. So what I will teach you, how you can give a better response to situations that have come in your life. Okay. So those who are wise people, those who are noble people, they are using their time to refine themselves at this present. An example is all of you. Isn't it? You have come on this Sunday evening. You could have just opened a movie. You could have just chatted with certain people. Or nowadays, this rummy is there. Or so many things are coming up. To just waste time. So many things are coming up on the social media also to just waste time. You could have done that. You did not do that. What you are choosing? Choosing to wisely refine yourself. The current situation demands us. I'm talking about the coronavirus. The situation demands us to refine our ways of thinking, isn't it? Refine the ways which we have been doing things in this world. Probably we have to change something. One of the lessons which Corona does surely teach. I'll teach you two lessons from Corona because I know that many of you are facing the challenges. Corona would have affected your personal lives in many devastating ways, probably, which I can't even imagine. Some of you probably would have gone through a lot of challenges, and there are continuing. It's going to continue for a while at least. We know that it's not going to change overnight, right? So therefore, we have to refine. So what is the one thing which I want to talk about coronavirus today? The one lesson which we learn is that we cannot live in irresponsible way in this world. See, this world follows certain rules. It is school worldview. It follows certain rules. We need to accept that.
Nature will hit you back if you do violence on the creatures which are the nature is like mother, and human beings and the animals and the trees and the entire creation which we have. Nature is like the mother. You become violent on one of the children of the mother, she will come and slap you. Is it not true? Have you not seen happening in your own household? Suppose you have 3-4 brothers and sisters, you go and slap one child, attack. You try to torture that child. Mother will come and hit you back. Hey, what are you doing? Why are you hurting that child? You're creating violence on that child. Similarly, Mother Nature is teaching us something, that we cannot live irresponsibly. We cannot live in this world with so much of violence which we are doing. The animals are also our own brothers and sisters. We have to treat first of all human beings as brother and sister. Nowadays, we don't even treat human beings as brother and sister. So we treat them as roll numbers. We treat them as someone who can give me something. I always say that in a civilized society, we are supposed to love people and use things. We are supposed to love people and use things. But what is happening in our today's society? We are loving things and using people to get those things. Is it not true? Is it not true? Right? We are loving things. I like laptop. I like this bungalow. I love this jewelry. I love that. I love this. I love that. Everything I love. Things I love. And I use people to get them. Is it not happening? Is it not happening? Please tell me, on your chat box, if you have seen this happening, this type of attitude, that instead of loving people, we have started loving things. Even our own family, we can see that. Sometimes you're using your family members to get something instead of loving them. If you're relating with me what I'm saying, please type it on your chat box and say, yes, I'm able to relate with this. Please. Is it not happening? See, this is what coronavirus is teaching us. This is what coronavirus is teaching us. You cannot live irresponsible lives. You cannot just be like this, that, I will use everybody for my own enjoyment. We are using animals for our own enjoyment. Our tongue is wanting certain taste and we want to cut the throats of the animals to just satisfy our tongue. No, that's not something which we want. This is not what the nature treats all the humans and all the animals at the same plane. She is providing so many facilities, etc. for everyone. Let's treat each other as our brothers and sisters. Let's also treat animals as our brothers and sisters. They need care. They need to be cared by us. And this whole coronavirus has come because of what? It's because of violence on certain animals. Isn't it? That's how it started. It started through that. We take responsibility of treating not just the animals also, but most importantly the human beings. Right? We start treating the human beings with care, human beings with love, human beings with affection. Also animals with affection, not with sword. Probably to treat them. Then what will happen? Nature will supply back things again. This is the solution to corona. Okay, if we learn our lesson, we refine ourselves. Okay, see, this is what I'm talking about. We refine ourselves. We look at why it has come, the problem and situation, the failure, why it has come. We refine. Probably we change certain goals. Not the goals, rather, I should say. We change our strategies. We change certain things. And then we go ahead and then persist to get the goals of life. Right? This is the way, the mode of goodness people behave. Okay. So, coming back to my slideshow. So I'll give you a few examples of this type of people. Okay? I'm going to give shocking examples actually to you. Just before that, there are characteristics. If you're noting it down, this is something which you can surely note it down. This is something to practice. See, when I'm talking about the symptoms of mode of passion, of mode of ignorance, mode of goodness, I am not treating people to be permanently having these syndromes. No. You can change, you can practice. If you practice these principles which I am telling you in mode of goodness, what will happen? You will become in mode of goodness. You will be able to give a better response in mode of goodness. That's as simple as that. That's the reason I am actually telling you directly from the Sanskrit and English equivalent word. So Sama means mind control. Dama means sense control. One of the ways sense control is done is, I love everybody. I love life. Okay, I love human beings. I love animals. They're all our brothers and sisters. So therefore, just for my tongue's sake, I'm not going to cut the throat of an animal. I'm not going to cut the throat of an animal. Right? So that's the sense control part. Titikshava, he says, tolerance. So I will develop certain amount of tolerance. I will not overreact to the situation. The situations come, I'll give a peaceful response. Somebody wants to harm me, I'm not going to harm them back. That is called as tolerance, right? That is mode of goodness. Satyam, sticking to one's duties. I have certain duties, I'm going to stick to it. See, like most of the relationship problems, I just want to add to this because I will teach you life lessons. So most of the relationship problems are because we don't stick to our duty. The husband and wife are fighting. Nowadays this husband and wife fights are happening. Coronavirus has brought that. Okay, that is brought to the surface. You know what? There is a threat to the marriages which is there. Today they say that the number of divorces are going to increase once this corona thing is lifting up. Psychological problems are increasing in people. So let me talk about the relationship. Husband and wife, let's say, problems. Why does the husband and wife problem happens? Because husband says the wife, you do your duty. The wife says to husband, you do your duty. The husband thinks, I will do my duties nicely towards my wife. The wife will naturally do her duties towards the husband. This is the solution of relationships problem. What happens is, we start thinking that why the other person is not doing the duty. Our own duty. A brother-sister fight. The brother doesn't think that some duties he has to do towards the sister. Sister doesn't think that certain duties she has to do towards the brother. Therefore, the fighting is happening. If everybody understands, okay, I don't have to expect something from another person. I have to first try to think about my duty towards the other person. And what will happen? Other person will respond back naturally. The Saas Bahu problem, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law problem, mother-in-law, daughter-in-law problem. Why it is happening? The mother-in-law says, hey, this is the daughter-in-law, this is your duty, this is your duty, this is your duty. And the daughter-in-law says back to the mother-in-law, this is your duty, this is your duty, this is your duty. Fighting. Mother-in-law says, my dear daughter-in-law, you have come from the other home, you need a mother, you are missing your father, I know, you are missing your mother, I know, you have a new situation, I know. I'll treat you like your daughter. You are like my daughter. She does her duties. She starts giving affection to that new girl which has come into the house. What will happen? Even an animal responds so well if you try to love them. Yes, you have seen the dogs on the street. Even on the street dog, just go and start feeding some biscuits. They start wagging their tail, they start licking you. They express love. Do you think human beings will not do that? They will also do. Mother-in-law accepts the daughter-in-law as a daughter, right? And gives affection. Naturally, the daughter-in-law will give so much affection and service to the mother-in-law. This is the way relationship problem goes away. So this is a mode of goodness, okay? So this is the way failures are handled, situations are handled in life. By sticking to one's own duty, not demanding others to do something, okay? And the last one is Shraddha, which is faith on the God and faith on Vedas. Because any situation is there, I have to handle it properly. Easiest thing you can do is, you can go and find out in the Vedas what is the solution. Because I told you, Vedas give solution to all problems of life. Okay? So we can do that. That is Shraddha. Okay, so that is mode of goodness. I give you an example of Sindhu Tai Sapkal. And I want to take you ahead since it's already 7:09. I have programmed till 7:15. I joined 5 minutes late. Can I take it to 7:20? If you're okay, if you please type it on your chat box. If you're okay, I'd speak for another 10 minutes and then take questions and answers. It's okay? Please tell me on your chat box if it's okay. I can take it to 7:20. Please kindly, type it. Yes, sure. Okay, I am happy. Fine. I'll speak 10 more minutes because I'm on the end of the goodness and the 4th response also I have to tell you. Absolutely. Okay. Fine. Thank you. I joined a little late today and then they gave introduction. I started at 6:10. So I am just taking 5 minutes extra till 7:20. After that, we'll have questions and answers. And please kindly don't go away before filling the feedback form. In case if you need to go, I'll just right now itself give you the feedback form. And you please fill the feedback forms. Because your feedbacks help me to understand how the session is gone and how can I improve myself and do a better service to other students or you if you come back in my next class. So please see your chat box right now. If in case if anybody has to leave early, this is my feedback form. Please kindly fill that. Sure. Okay. Yeah, please. I'll come to questions and answers with it. Just wait just for 10 more minutes. In case if anybody has to leave, they have this form to fill. Please do fill it before you leave. So we have this weekly program. Every week I come, every Sunday they have told me to give a program like this. So you can join us on different programs. You can tell your friends. I also have started my Facebook as well as outreach on social media. You can connect with me. You can connect with my YouTube channel. I make videos nowadays and circulate them. You can share with friends. You can share with family members. You can share with other people who would like to learn, like to join us. And this is the way we can help each other. So I think it's there on your chat box. They are sending you the different. We have a WhatsApp group. We also have Facebook, etc. You just have to type Amal M Das Official on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, anywhere. Just Amal M Das Official. If you type, you get my portfolios. Okay. So coming back to this session. Sorry for that short interruption. I didn't want any one of you to leave before feedback. That's why. So I'll just take 10 more minutes. This is an example of Sindhu Tai Sabkal. She's a very famous lady, but probably not famous like Steve Jobs. Probably not famous like Rowling, etc. But she is famous in her own way for what good work she has done. Amazing good work. I want to tell you, she's an Indian social worker and social activist. She is called as Mother of the Orphans. She has so many orphans which are there in her orphanage which she started. When she started it, you have to know it. So you can read it in Wikipedia. I'm not telling everything. In short only I'm going to tell you, right? She had tragic failures in her life. Please hear this attentively for just 2 minutes. Just see this lady. She had tragic failures in her life. She was married to a 30-year-old man when she was just 10 years old. I don't say this kind of marriage should happen. Please don't take it. I'm not talking about from Vedas, right? I'm not talking about Vedas. I'm talking about this kind of lady. It is not good. This kind of age gap, 10 years girl was married to a 30 years old man, and he was not a very good behavior. He was not in so much good in behavior. By the age of 20, she had 3 sons already, and the 4th she had in her womb. Pregnant. She was pregnant. And at that time, the local, the leader of the village which she was living in, the place which she was living in, started doing some wrong things in the village. And therefore, she went out and she started talking about, no, this is not good. What the leader is doing, we cannot support like that. The leader took it as great threat, and he told something wrong. The husband of Sindhu Tai, and the husband came back and started fighting with Sindhu Tai and killed her. She was pregnant. Please remember. Kicked her on her belly, the womb which was there. Kicked her hard, and she was a lot of pain. And he threw him out of the house. That I have no relationship with you. It seems like you have wrong illicit relationship with that leader. Leader is telling me that he had some illicit relationship with you, and it was very harsh in behavior. She was left pregnant with a child at 20 years of age with no money. Left with pregnancy, with the pain in the womb when she was kicked. She was just thrown out on the street, and that's how she started her life. Think about it, right? And she delivered. She was like carrying, I think, 8th or 9th month. She delivered the baby in the cow shed. Cows came around. No human beings came. This is something which I really don't want. Why it happens, I don't know. Why humans can't help others, I don't know. I want to create through all of you a change in this society, that let's try to help each other. So Sindhu Tai Sabkal, she was there in the cow shed, and in the cow shed, the cows covered her. That nobody should be able to hit. No cow should be able to hit her hard. One cow came and covered her from all sides. And underneath that cow, she gave birth to a daughter. She gave birth to a daughter at that time. And she had to cut her umbilical cord. Umbilical cord comes out when the child comes out. She had to cut that umbilical cord with the help of herself. She had to cut the help of a stone. She had cut it. Umbilical cord went out, and then she gained the energy, and she went on in life. She then thought that I'll go to my hometown. When she went to her home, she was not accepted. She said, no, you have to go to your husband's house. And she was again back on the streets. She was young. She was a mother. She has no money. And she was like completely like an orphan. She did not know what to do. She started thinking, let me commit suicide. Just yesterday I talked about suicide program. She was one of the persons who was contemplating over suicide. She started thinking, I have no purpose in life. I am just a useless person. I'm a worthless person. What can I do? I am no one who loves me. So then she started feeling like, let me end my life. She started thinking there is a train and I'll just jump off the train with my child so that both of us will die and live a life. At that time, man, started crying on the street where she was sitting. And he was mourning with pain. Mourning means he was crying with pain. I am hungry. Can somebody please give me some food? And Sindhu Tai Satkal, she wiped off her own tears and she thought, let me help my brother. If I have to at all die, let me go and beg. Let me give some money to this person who is so hungry. And when she did that, she collected some food somehow and she gave to that person in the situation she was in. Think about it. She became so happy from within and she felt that this is what I would like to do. This is what I would like to do. Let me not live my life for my own happiness. She decided from that day on. I got so much of happiness. Although I am in so much of troubles in myself, my situation is not good. She paid for the money. She fed a few children. She fed that person. She was so happy. She felt this is what I would like to dedicate my life to. Let me dedicate my life to not selfish goals. Let me dedicate my life to selfless goals of life. Let me become the mother of so many orphans which are there on the railway platforms, etc. And that's what she did. She started cultivating so many orphans which were there. She started collecting them and she's made an organization with the help of other people who came forward to help her. And she started her orphanage. And that orphanage went on, became bigger and bigger. Now there are hundreds of people who are there in that orphanage. This is how she started. Please remember, this is mode of goodness response towards the failures of life. She could have just ended her life. That was mode of ignorance response, right? And she was not ready to accept the situation. She did not get into mode of passion. She got into mode of goodness response of refining the purpose of life. Let's not live selfishly. Let's try to live selflessly. That's refining the purpose of life. That's mode of goodness. And she's famous. She got this Nari Shakti Puraskar 2017, etc. Since the time is less, I'm going to hurry up. I'm not going to give you one more example which I had of Rishikesh Mafatlal. I have 4 more minutes. Rishikesh Mafatlal also, he's again a very famous person. He's an industrialist, he's a businessman, he's a name in textile industry. So one of the times, I think in the beginning of the 21st century, 2000, 2005, that window. So his business was also collapsing. His business was collapsing. There was so much of troubles which the industry was going through. Just like coronavirus is making situations bad, right? The industry was going through so much tough time that he was not able to pay salary to his own employees. That kind of situation came. But he did not throw out even one single employee. He told to all of them, let's work together, let's try to make it successful. And the first thing, if the money comes, is I'm going to give all of you salary. One single person also did not leave from his factory. Even one single person also did not go to join another company, though they were not getting any pay. Why? Because up till that date of that crisis which he was facing, till that date, he always took care of his employees like his own children. He always was there to help them for the marriages of their daughters, for the so many functions which they had to in their house. He was always generously giving them help and support from his side, selflessly. So not even one single employee of his left his company. Rather, they told to the businessman, we are there with you to fight in these challenging situations and we'll not leave our jobs. Let's try to bring our industry back, bring our business back to its position. And you will be surprised. Not only they brought the business back to the normal, but even excelled it. Because the teamwork which they showed was really excellent. The teamwork, he could get the teamwork from his employees because of his selfless purposes in life. The mode of goodness response. He sticks to his duty. Like coronavirus, many people are just throwing out employees. Hey, jao, go away. This man was in similar situation in 2001, that crisis which came, 2005, that whole crisis which had come. But not even single employee threw out. He said, no, I take your responsibility, but you have to help me to produce and get the bill. Then I'll share this with all of you. And that's what he did. And therefore, he became from zero to hero in the industry of textile at this time. You can search it again on the Google, it's out there. No, I'm sorry. Oh, that slide is wrong, I'm sorry. The chairman of he is the chairman of Arvind Mafatlal Group. You can search it on there. I'm going to give you the 4th response. If you like the mode of goodness response, you can say, yes, I liked it on the chat box so that I see that you like that. This is the last response which you can now accept of the final one. Super. Yeah, super. Okay. Yes, sir. You liked it. So you saw what you have to do You have to refine your purpose of life. You have to refine and keep learning. See the situation and challenge which has come and grow through that. Not just go through that, but grow through that. And it's not about selfish passion. Passion is about oneself, selfish. All those people which I showed you, selfish. But the goodness makes you very selfless, very, very selfless. And therefore, you can give a very good response to life. Okay? So you liked it. Thank you. So now, the last thing for the day, which I'm not going to cover in great detail, but it's a clue towards life. Okay? The clue towards life. Okay. So this is called as fourth response, which devotionally empowered people give. This is again, of course, the best response. So therefore, it takes best type of people, best type of practice, which one has to do. What is this response all about? Sorry. The response is all about gratitude and greatness. If the failures come in life, these type of people, the fourth type of people, the first type of people, they deny, they don't accept. Second type of people, they accept. Then they're selfish, they have their selfish ambitions, and therefore they keep attempting, work hard, very good. But again, they are not balanced. The third type of response and failures I showed you just now was they refine their purposes of life. They become more and more selfless rather than being selfish, and therefore, with the refinement, they persist and they do things great in life. Fourth is gratitude and greatness. That is very amazing. This is something which requires more practice and something which will require you to tune yourself to God's grace. Okay, I'll talk about it just in 1 minute. So what is gratitude and what is greatness? When the failures come in the life of these people, they do not see them as challenges. Very amazing. They don't see that as challenges. Rather, what response they give? This is there in one of the shlokas, which is there in the Srimad Bhagavatam. I like this shloka very much, so I'll just repeat this for you, They say this, the shloka says, Anukampa susamiksha mana kunjana evatma kritam vipakam hidvag vapurvir vidhan namaste jive tayo mukpade sadaya bhag. This is there in the Bhagavad Purana. I love this shloka very much. It talks about best response to failures which come. You know what these people do say? They say, my dear God, my dear Lord, you're giving me so much of your love in the form of what these failures and problems you're giving me. What do they say? Giving me so much of your love. You're giving me so much of your love in this form, which I'm not able to understand at present. However, this is certainly your love because you love me so much. I probably deserved much worse problems in my life, but you have only given me this much. I'm so grateful to you, my dear Lord, for reducing the amount of suffering and problem which had to come in my life. You're just giving me a sample of what I had to go through. I am so grateful to you. Therefore, I will give response of, I'll use this situation, utilize the situation, and I'll put so much of my best energy. They become energized when they see these challenges. They see them as God-given challenges, and therefore they accept it with full heart. And they express whatever they do later on, they express their devotion to God in the form of the response which they give to the failures. Therefore, that's a great response which comes. I'll just talk one example of this. One example of this. So as to make you understand what I'm talking about. Kedarnath Datta. This is a name in the history. A great personality which had come in this to learn from. He was the High Court judge at the time of the Britishers. In case if someone of you are leaving, I told you till 7:20 I spoke. Oh my God, I have lost the time. So I think this is the last example for the day. So this personality, he was the High Court judge at the time of the Britishers. He was a famous author of more than 100 books. Many more than 100 books and many poems and songs he has written about God also. He had several health problems and challenges throughout his life. He became a success, great success. At the time of Britishers, to become a High Court judge is not easy, okay? It's not easy because they always place the Britishers, etc. on these such esteemed positions. But he was so influential, he was so intelligent, he was so brilliant that Britishers could not deny posting him at that time. This is in the 19th century, towards the end of the 19th century, that time. You can type about him, you can get a lot on him. So then later on, as he was on the High Court judge position, he was attacked by a tantric Vishakshen, who was looting people, killing, people and, saying that himself to be God, false God. He was claiming himself to be false God, the Vishakshen, the tantric. And the judge, the Kedarnath ji, he really tried his best. He arrested that person, he puts him in the jail, Then he started putting his tantric tips on all his whole family members, including him. He had a high fever for many days, but he did not give up his integrity. He said, "Come what may, you are a criminal. I cannot release you." And in the end, actually, the tantric was giving the spell, and he told to his son, Kedarnath Duttji, he told to his son, according to my readings of the books, the generally tantrics have strength in their hairs. So you go and cut the hairs of the person. So they went and they cut the hairs of the person, and suddenly all the tantric spells were dispelled, and rather the tantric himself succumbed to death on his own. So this is another person who faced the failures with great integrity, seeing them as this service to God. He said, "This is my service to God. The challenge which has come, these failures, these troubles which are coming in my life, he saw it in this way. This is my service to God which I can do, can offer. My life is meant to be offered as a service to God. If these challenges have come, let me become an instrument of love and compassion in this world." That's what these people talk about. To give this type of response to you. I can give you one more response, but I think I don't have time for that. To give this type of response, what do you have to do? What you have to do is, you have to learn to connect with God with devotion. So we have these many wonderful ways what you can do. Connect with God is, you can read the scriptures, you can associate with those who are great devotees of the Lord. You can read the books like Gita, Bhagavad, etc. Then you can be surcharged with the way to respond in the fourth way, which is the best, the bonus response which I talked about. The conclusion is, don't respond in mode of goodness, don't respond in mode of ignorance, cultivate mode of goodness and devotion. And how? And to express your gratitude to God. Weekly spiritual programs you can attend, meditation and reading of scriptures to refine yourself, and you can send your questions, not the answers. I'm sorry, this was last week. You can send your questions to me on this, and if there are a few questions at this point of time, I would like to take. Thank you very much, Chandramalaji. If you have any thing to speak right now, you can say, and I take the questions right now.
Sir, you can one more time. You can put your.
Coming today evening. You have any questions? Please send me the questions, and you have the feedback. You have the feedback form which I already placed. This is the feedback in front of you. In case if you wish to anytime leave from now on, you have this. I told you that you can connect with me on my Facebook, YouTube channels, etc. You can surely think of that. And if you have friends who would like to attend this kind of programs, Arjuna Group is conducting every Sunday evening 6 o'clock to 7:30. So you can invite different topics which we are giving. You can also give us suggestions on different topics which you want to hear from us. You can also talk. You can tell us you can send us on this email ID which is showing. You can send us on this email ID which is written in front of you, amalamdas.connect@gmail.com. You can please. So how many of you? Let me see. Before you have the questions. You got your feedback form there. Also, I have this. I'm also going to post this to you. My social media channels. If you wish, you could see any one of them. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Pinterest, Instagram. If you like to connect with us, you can see it in your chat box again. And now we open for questions. Yes. So I think there was one question from. Pranav Yeni Shetty, please give us some examples of some actions which we can do in our daily lives to achieve mode of goodness other than reading scriptures. Yeah, I'll give you just now. Thank you. So how to cultivate mode of goodness is what his question is. Mode of goodness habits can be cultivated with very simple steps in life. So there are times which are in mode of goodness. There are times which are in mode of passion. There are times which are in mode of ignorance. Early morning time is mode of goodness. Late night time is mode of ignorance. The afternoon time is mode of passion. So, if you wish to cultivate mode of goodness, what can you do? You can sleep early and you can wake up early. You can try to make that as a habit. Chandramalaji, you can please see at the questions and you can speak out to me. You can remind me if any question I am missing out. Please keep looking at the questions. Because so many questions come, I can take a few. So, mode of goodness, how to cultivate? You can sleep early and you can wake up early. This itself will be increasing your sattva good. That is one thing. Then similarly, second thing which you can do is you can eat foods which are in mode of goodness, and this will increase your sattva. You can eat foods which are in mode of goodness and it will increase your sattva. For example, so there are foods which are made of milk products, grains, and which are not too chilly. If you put a lot of chili, it gets in Rajoguna. So this is all in the Gita. Information I'm giving to you is all from the Gita. It says that this is the, so you eat food which are in goodness. Or what are the goodness food? So there are fresh foods, not stale food, something which is kept over for more than 4 to 5 hours. It's called as in lower mode. It is not in mode of goodness. So mode of goodness is freshly prepared food at home. Now you are getting from, because of Corona, one thing is there is you are locked down at home, so your mothers are preparing nice fresh foods. Hopefully morning, afternoon, evening, 3 times. So eat fresh food. Don't eat food which has a lot of chili, rajoguna, nature. Eat food which is not so hot, not so cold. Like that. That's all mode of goodness food. If you eat that, then your mode of goodness increases. Another thing which you can do is, which to increase your mode of goodness, is to have selfless thoughts in your mind. More selfless thought, the desire to serve others. You can try to think on that, right? How can I serve rather than how can I enjoy? This is all in goodness. You can think about how can I give to others rather than how can I take. This is all in goodness. Okay, this is anything which is selfish, it's in passion. Anything which is destructive, it is ignorance. Anything which is selfless, it is goodness. Anything which is devotional, it is higher than the 3 modes of nature, which is called as transcendence, or in Sanskrit we also call it as bhakti. Okay, so that gives you some tips, apart from reading scriptures. Reading scriptures is very critical. As I said, you want to have good thoughts, better thoughts, and scriptures are one of the best ways. Okay, next question I'll get to.
Sir, I got
you decide, Chandrabalu.
Yeah, I got some questions. Like question from Eman Supant. So, sir, can you also tell us how to build focus and self-discipline for students?
Okay, good question. So, how to develop focus and self-discipline for a student? If you have to develop focus, again you have to look at your habits. So I think, as I talked in my book, this is the book which I have. You can see my books are there on amalamdas.com. So this is the first book which I wrote, Art of Concentration in the Age of Distractions. So in this I talk about concentration or focus only, right? So here, what do you have to do to improve your focus? See, why do you lose focus? Why do you lose focus in life? Because you get distracted. And why do you get distracted in life? Because you want to you have certain alternative to get some pleasure. So therefore the pleasure attracts you, and you feel like, yeah, this is more pleasurable. What I'm studying at present may be difficult to do, way more hard. This is good pleasure. Maybe some video game, maybe some entertainment on Facebook or YouTube or anything else. Maybe some physical distraction in terms of somebody calls you and you chit chat, you talk, you go out, you play. Or you watch a movie, or these are all like entertainment, etc. More instant pleasure. So people, those who focus on selfish pleasures in life, these are the people who often become distracted and lose focus. So the simplest thing which I tell to people, which is important and going to the root of the solution, is to try reducing this type of mentality of seeking pleasure. Rather, find happiness in trying to serve. Then what happens? This is again increasing of sattva, right? This is increasing of sattva. So therefore, the focus will naturally come. I always see these students, those who are focusing very well, they always have this kind of a thought process that yes, I want to study because maybe a simple reason like my parents have paid so much of money. I don't want to give a bad example for them, or I don't want to waste their money. They don't want just extract pleasures from life. They want to give happiness to others, right? So this kind of thing will automatically make you into mode of goodness, and therefore you will be much better focusing on that. You can do simple things, of course. If you are unable to study for a long time, I've written a lot in my book. I'm just telling you some small things. Because the question is how to improve focus, how to increase determination. This is the way. So give up pleasure-seeking mentality and accept service, giving mentality. Try doing this daily in your life, and you will find that yes, you are becoming better and better focused. If you are studying, many times students study also for selfish purpose. I want to become famous, I want to become successful. It's fine, it's rajoguna. Fine, but then focus is there, but not for a long time. Again, the distractions and pleasures of life will distract you. But the best amount of concentration people can get is when they have a selfless purpose in life, right? So then they can, study for a longer time. You can watch my video also. Whoever has watched this Chandramali, you can put that link, a video which I made on secret of success. From the Socrates story, I made this on YouTube. It is there. On secret of success, which talks a similar thing which I'm just talking about now. Okay, next question. Next question.
Next question is how to judge what mode are we in now? Like which mode I am in. How to have a checklist or some boundaries in our life to check our modes.
So the symptoms I gave you. I'm sorry, just a second. Symptoms I gave you certain symptoms of mode of passion, mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. So if you want to see which particular mode you are in, you see the symptoms. You see your symptoms. I think we have also sent all of you, or if you are not received, then at the end of the session, we will send on the WhatsApp and email to every one of you for the list of the characteristics of a person in mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. So with the help of that, you can see, okay, which characteristics are present in me, which are more prominent. You may find a mix of this also. Some qualities in ignorance, some qualities in passion, some qualities in goodness. You can see which has maximum, that is a prominent mode you are in, and others will be a mixture. Because three modes are like three colors, primary colors, but you can mix them and get a lot of combination. Similarly, each and every one of us may have some qualities from each of these three modes, but one of them is prominent, which determines which mode we are in, which determines what kind of response we get. Okay, and what is the next part of the question? Yeah. So he has put it here. What is the next part of the question?
That's all. The question is that's all.
Okay. Yeah. Next, anything else is there? Any next question?
Yeah, sir. How to stay motivated all the time? Like whenever I see your video, I got boosted, but sometimes I lost that motivation. So, sir, how to stay motivated for a long time, like all the time? That is the question.
Yeah, if you want to stay motivated for a short time, you can watch the video. If you want to stay motivated for all time, then you have to practice the teachings of the video. Like you have to start practicing some of those things. Like some of the things which you can immediately do, my dear friend, who is asking this question. One of the easiest things you can do is, can you try developing some selfless goals for you? I want to request you, in fact, you can interact with me, any one of you can interact with me. I would like to help you define a selfless goal to life. When we do that, when you wake up in the morning, can you think about what is a selfless goal I can have in my life? If you start having a selfless goal for yourself, you will see you will be motivated much, much more strongly towards those goals. And of course, develop the attitudes which I told you about. At least try to develop something in goodness. You can start reading. We have so many books, so many articles which we send you. You can read them. You can get a lot of inspiration and try to refine yourself. Try to refine yourself as a person. Try to give up certain the wrong motivations and wrong habits which you have cultivated. Get to the better habits and the goodness. You will stay motivated for a long time when you have a selfless purpose of life. Okay, you have a selfless purpose of life, and you have to find out that for yourself. We can help you in that, but you think first from your side, then you interact with us. We can help you. Okay, next, last question. Then I have certain things to do.
Yeah. What is the meaning of Ajnana and Pramada, and how to maintain a good mood and peacefulness every single day, despite of good and bad things that occur?
Yeah, that is the Ajnana means ignorance and Pramada means illusion. So Ajnana means I am ignorant about truths of life. I do not know what is reality. I just am living based on some random thoughts. That is Ajnana. So if you have scriptural knowledge, if you have wisdom which you are learning here, then your Ajnana goes away. Then you have clarity, you have no confusion, you can focus, you can go ahead. That is Ajnana gets removed. How to remove Pramada? Illusion. Illusion means to think that this world is a hotel instead of it is a school. You talked about that. Wrong attitude. The illusory attitude is this world is meant for my own happiness. Everybody should satisfy my own, expectations. It is an illusion. So instead of that, you try to get into the other attitude of life, which is school. This world is not meant for my happiness. I can become happy by giving happiness in service to others. Automatically, I'm not going to get. If I respond to life situations in such a way that I want to serve others, then I will feel satisfaction and happiness in life. Somebody was asking me, how can I stay more motivated? Do one act of service to somebody else every day. Try to do one small act of service to somebody, maybe your friend, maybe your mother. Maybe you go and help her for half an hour daily in the kitchen if she's struggling. And nowadays she's struggling surely because no maid is coming, right? Maids are not coming. So therefore you have a lot of opportunity to serve at home. Just go and say to the mother, give me some half an hour. Not too much, just half an hour you can help her, you know. When half an hour you just, maybe whatever she's doing some stuff at kitchen, just help her. And you will feel so happy, you will feel so encouraged. In fact, your mother will give you more and more love and affection actually. She also needs her space. You know, mothers need their space in life. You know, nowadays they're not getting any space because nobody's going out of home only. Everybody's stuffed up at home. So no space at home. I'm not saying physical space, I'm talking about mental space, you know. So no space, you know, all the time she's busy, morning, afternoon, evening, oh my God. She loves to do that. It will be good if you help your mother for some half an hour a day. You will feel satisfied and you will get more encouragement and you will be more motivated in your life, right? So these are few ways you can go ahead and think, right? Okay. I think this is the end of today's programs, and you can ask me more questions. You can join me on various channels. Give me suggestions on the topics which you want me to hear. Every Sunday evening we come back at this point, at this time, 6 o'clock. Connect more people and let's spread the wisdom to everybody. Thank you very much.